I know right now, life might feel overwhelming. Stress is weighing heavily on your shoulders, and it feels like there's no end in sight. You're pushing through day after day, carrying burdens that seem far too big, and sometimes it's hard to believe anything good could come from this struggle. But I want you to hear this deep in your heart. God is using your stress for something greater. See, stress isn't just random chaos thrown your way. It's not just a cruel twist of fate or some cosmic punishment. No, stress is a tool. It's a refining fire, a testing ground, a catalyst that God uses to shape you, to grow you, and to prepare you for the next season of your life. The very challenges you face, the sleepless nights, the worries that keep you up are not wasted. They are the soil where your strength will grow deeper, your character will be forged, and your faith will be stretched in ways you never imagined. When God allows stress into your life, it's because He is working something out through you. He's not distant or indifferent to your pain. He's actively involved, even when you can't see it. In fact, He's closer to you in your hardest moments than in your easiest ones. Those times when you feel like you're barely holding on, that's when His power shows up most clearly. Your stress is the battlefield where God's glory will be revealed. Think about the greatest stories in Scripture, the men and women of faith who changed the world. None of them lived stress-free lives. Abraham waited decades for a promise to be fulfilled. Joseph was betrayed, imprisoned, and forgotten. David faced giants and exile. Esther risked everything to save her people. Paul endured beatings, shipwrecks, and imprisonment. Each of these heroes faced stress, hardship, and pressure that could have broken them. But instead, God used their stress to refine them, to prepare them for the destiny He had planned. Your stress, too, is part of a divine process. It's like clay in the potter's hands. The pressure you feel is the potter's fingers shaping you into something beautiful, strong, and useful. You might not see the masterpiece yet, but trust that it is coming. God's work in your life is never wasted, even if the path looks dark and uncertain. I want you to imagine stress as a ladder, each rung bringing you closer to a higher place. You may feel stuck on the lowest rungs, looking up at the impossible height, but every step you take is progress. Every moment of struggle, every tear, every anxious thought is moving you upward, closer to a breakthrough. God is using your stress to elevate you, to bring you into a new realm of peace, purpose, and power. The stress you carry now is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a transformation. It's like the pressure that creates a diamond. Intense, sometimes unbearable pressure that changes something ordinary into something extraordinary. You may not feel like a diamond right now, but that's exactly what you are becoming. Don't let the weight of your stress convince you that you're broken beyond repair. You're being made into something precious and unbreakable. God's plan for your life is bigger than the stress you face. He's not just interested in helping you survive this season. He wants you to thrive in the next. The stress is temporary, but the greatness He is building in you is eternal. You might be in a difficult place right now, but it's a place of preparation, a workshop where your faith, resilience, and character are being built. Remember, God often uses the hardest moments to reveal His greatest glory. When you feel like you're at your limit, that's when God steps in with supernatural strength. When you feel like giving up, that's when God reminds you that His power is made perfect in weakness. Your stress is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign that something incredible is happening inside you. So don't run from your stress or try to ignore it. Face it with faith, knowing God is working behind the scenes. Let your stress draw you closer to Him. Pray through it, seek His guidance, and trust His timing. He will give you peace that surpasses understanding, even in the storm. You are not alone in this. Many have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after you. But what sets you apart is your response. Will you let stress defeat you? Or will you let God use it to make you stronger, wiser, and more resilient? God is using your stress to grow your patience, your humility, and your empathy. These are qualities that open doors to your purpose. Sometimes, stress strips away distractions and forces you to focus on what truly matters: your relationship with God, your values, and your vision for your life. This is the moment to hold on tight, to lean into God's promises, and to believe that what feels like a heavy burden today will become the foundation of your testimony tomorrow. One day, You will look back on this season and see how God turned your stress into a story of victory, hope, and inspiration. So keep pressing forward. When the pressure feels unbearable, remember God is not wasting your pain. He is using your stress to prepare you for something greater than you can imagine. Trust Him. Keep faith alive. Your breakthrough is coming, and it will be worth every moment of struggle. You are stronger than your stress, and with God on your side, there is no limit to what you can overcome. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture, and know that the storm you are facing is shaping you into the person God created you to be, resilient, victorious, and unstoppable. It's easy to look at stress as a burden, something that drains your energy, steals your peace, and makes you question your path. But what if you shifted your perspective and saw stress not as an enemy, but as an instrument in the hands of God? Stress is not merely a sign that things are going wrong. It's a powerful tool that God uses to build something extraordinary within you. Think about this every time you face a difficult situation. It's like you're in a workshop, the workshop of life, where raw material is shaped into a masterpiece. The stress you feel is the pressure that the divine craftsman applies to mold you. Without pressure, clay remains soft and shapeless, but with pressure, it becomes pottery, useful, beautiful, and designed for a purpose. Similarly, your stress isn't just random pain, it's the pressure that's shaping your character, your faith, and your future. This process is often uncomfortable. When stress comes, it stretches your limits, tests your patience, and forces you to dig deep. It exposes weaknesses you didn't know you had and challenges you to grow beyond your current self. But that's exactly what God wants. He's not just preparing you to survive, He's preparing you to thrive, to become a beacon of strength and hope for others. Remember the stories of great people who have inspired generations. Almost every one of them faced immense stress and pressure. Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, imprisoned unjustly, yet he became a leader who saved nations. Moses, leading a stubborn people through the wilderness, carrying the weight of their failures and hopes. Even Jesus faced the ultimate stress, carrying the weight of the world's sins on the cross. These people weren't exempt from hardship. Their stress was the furnace that purified their purpose and made them mighty instruments of God's will. Your story is no different. The stress you face today is not a sign that you're failing or that God has forgotten you. On the contrary, it means God is actively working through your circumstances. He's using this stress to teach you valuable lessons. Patience when you want to give up, courage when fear creeps in, resilience when weariness threatens to overcome you. Stress also refines your faith. It forces you to depend on God rather than on your own strength. When everything seems uncertain and your own resources run dry, you learn to rely on a power greater than yourself. That dependence on God creates an unshakable foundation for your life. It's in those moments of stress that you discover how deeply God cares, how faithful He is, and how much He is preparing you for your next big breakthrough. Stress cultivates empathy and humility. When you've walked through hard times, you become more compassionate toward others who struggle. Your stress becomes a bridge, connecting you to people who need encouragement and hope. God uses your trials not just to build you up, but to equip you to support and uplift others. It's important to understand that stress, while painful, is temporary. It is a season, not a permanent condition. The difficulties you endure today will pass, but the strength, wisdom, and faith you gain from it will last forever. Like a diamond forged under pressure, you're being made into something precious, valuable, and beautiful. Don't try to avoid stress or run away from it. Instead, face it with the assurance that God is in control. Embrace it as part of your growth. When you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to breathe, pray, and remind yourself that this stress is a sign that God is working behind the scenes. You are not alone in your struggle. Many have been where you are, feeling the weight of stress and uncertainty. What separates those who overcome is not the absence of stress, but the choice to trust God through it. They decide to believe that their current pressure is not the end, but the beginning of something greater. So keep pressing forward. Use your stress as fuel to push harder, to grow stronger, and to become a testimony of hope. Your pain is not meaningless. It is the foundation of your purpose. God is using every moment of stress to prepare you for a future filled with victory, peace, and fulfillment beyond what you can imagine. In time, you will look back and see how the stress you thought would break you actually made you unbreakable. You will see how it equipped you to face bigger challenges and how it positioned you to help others walk through their storms. Trust the process. God is writing your story, and your stress is a crucial chapter in the journey toward your greatness. Life often feels like a relentless series of challenges. Stress comes at you from every direction: work pressures, personal struggles, financial worries, relationship difficulties, and it can feel overwhelming. But the truth is, God isn't absent in your struggle. He's right there, working through every stressful moment to bring about something far greater than you can see right now. The first key to understanding this is realizing that stress is not just a random hardship, but a purposeful tool God uses to prepare you for your destiny. The second key is that this stress, while painful, is actually a catalyst for transformation, changing you from the inside out and equipping you for the next chapter of your life. When you're in the middle of stress, it's easy to feel like you're being crushed under the weight of everything. Your mind races with worries, your body feels drained, and your spirit is tired. But what if I told you that God is using this very pressure to build strength in you? Like metal forged in fire, you are being purified and shaped. Every moment of tension, every sleepless night, every anxious thought is part of a divine process. This process is not designed to break you, but to strengthen you. God's purpose behind allowing stress is not to punish, but to prepare. When life is easy, it's tempting to coast along without much growth. But when stress hits, it forces you to stretch beyond your comfort zone. It compels you to develop resilience, patience, and trust in God that you might never have cultivated otherwise. These qualities are essential for what God wants to accomplish through your life. The Bible is full of examples of people who were stressed, tested, and pressured, but became great because of how they responded. David faced giant challenges, betrayals, and personal failures, but became a man after God's own heart. Esther risked her life to save her people, stepping into a role that required courage and faith beyond measure. Paul endured hardships and imprisonments, yet he became one of the greatest apostles who spread the message of hope and salvation. Their stories show us that stress is not the end. It's the beginning of transformation. Transformation is the second key. Stress doesn't just challenge you, it changes you. It breaks down the old parts of you that hold you back and builds new strength and wisdom. When you face stress and still choose to trust God, your faith grows deeper. You learn to lean on God's promises instead of your own understanding. Your character matures, your empathy expands, and your perspective widens. Can feel isolating, but it actually connects you to a larger story, one of endurance, hope, and victory. It reminds you that you are not in this alone. God is working with you and through you. The pressure is molding you into a person who can face future challenges with confidence and grace. One of the most beautiful things about stress as a catalyst is that it reveals what truly matters. When distractions fall away under pressure, you begin to see your life through a clearer lens. You prioritize your values, deepen your relationship with God, and focus on your purpose. Stress can refine your vision and clarify your path. It's important to remember that this process takes time. Transformation is not instant. It often involves repeated cycles of struggle and growth. You might feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but every experience adds up. The person you are becoming is being prepared for greater things. The patience you develop under stress will serve you in ways you can't yet imagine. So, when stress hits, don't despair or lose hope. Instead, remind yourself that God is using this moment to equip you for a brighter future. Embrace the challenge, lean into your faith, and allow yourself to be changed. Your stress is not wasted, it's working for you. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture. The pressure you feel is temporary, but the strength and growth you gain will last forever. Trust that God's timing is perfect and His plans for you are good. You are being prepared to step into a new season of peace, purpose, and power. No matter how heavy the load feels today, know that you are stronger than your stress. God's power in your life is greater than any difficulty you face. Your story is unfolding exactly as it should, and the stress you endure now is the foundation for your future victory. Stay strong, keep the faith, and remember, God is using your stress to bring out the very best in you. Your breakthrough is on the horizon. When you feel overwhelmed by stress, it's natural to ask, why is this happening to me? It can seem like life is piling on more than you can handle, and the weight of your burdens feels unbearable. But here's the truth that can transform your perspective. God is not ignoring your struggles. He is using your stress for a purpose far greater than you realize. The first key is understanding that stress is part of God's plan to develop your character and faith. The second key is recognizing that stress builds resilience and strength, preparing you for future challenges. And the third key is that your stress is molding you into a source of hope and encouragement for others. Stress often feels like a heavy burden, but it is also a sign that something important is happening. When God allows stress into your life, He's inviting you into a process of growth. This process isn't easy, but it is necessary. Just as gold is refined by fire, your character is purified by the pressures you face. Stress reveals areas where you need to grow. Patience, humility, trust, and pushes you to develop them. This refining process prepares you for greater responsibility and deeper faith. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout immediately. It must first endure darkness, pressure from the soil, and often harsh weather. But through those trials, the seed gathers strength, pushing roots deeper and shoots higher. Your stress is like that soil and storm, uncomfortable but essential for growth. God's plan is to use your current struggle as the foundation for a flourishing future. The second key is that stress builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from hardship, to keep moving forward when the path is difficult. When stress presses in, it challenges your limits and forces you to adapt. You learn new ways to cope, new ways to trust, and new ways to persevere. This process strengthens your spirit. You become someone who doesn't just survive storms, but thrives through them. Resilience also teaches you to lean on God's strength rather than your own. In moments of stress, when your own resources feel depleted, you discover a well of supernatural strength that sustains you. This deep reliance on God transforms your outlook. You begin to see stress not as a curse, but as a calling, a sign that God is preparing you for something bigger. You realize that every challenge is an opportunity to experience God's faithfulness in a new way. The third key is that your stress can become a powerful testimony for others. When you endure hardship with faith, patience, and hope, you inspire those around you. Your journey becomes a light in the darkness for people who are struggling. God uses your story to encourage, uplift, and strengthen others. Your experiences become a ministry, showing others that they too can overcome. It's easy to feel isolated in stress, but God's plan includes using your struggles to build community and connection. When you share your story, you remind others that they are not alone. You provide hope where there was despair and faith where there was doubt. This ripple effect of encouragement can change lives. Remember, none of this happens overnight. Growth, resilience, and influence take time. The process may feel slow, and sometimes you might wonder if it's working at all. But God's timing is perfect. What feels like delay is often preparation. Trust that He is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail for your good. So when stress comes, don't resist it or feel defeated by it. Instead, embrace it with faith, knowing God is using it to shape you into who you are meant to be. Lean into Him in your moments of weakness. Allow His strength to carry you, and keep your eyes on the promise of a brighter tomorrow. You are not defined by your stress or your struggles. You are defined by how you respond to them. With courage, faith, and hope, God is writing a story of victory through your life, and your current challenges are just the beginning of an incredible journey. Stay strong, stay faithful, and know that God is using your stress to create something greater, not just for you, but for everyone whose lives you will touch. Your breakthrough is coming, and it will be worth every moment of struggle you face today. Stress is one of the most common experiences we face, and it often feels like a heavy weight pressing down on us relentlessly. But there's a profound truth that many overlook. God is using your stress for a purpose greater than you can imagine. When you understand this, it changes everything. Stress is not just something to endure or escape. It's a divine tool in your life. The first key is that stress is a sign of God's refining work in you, shaping your character, and preparing you for a higher purpose. The second key is that stress strengthens your resilience and perseverance. equipping you to face future challenges with confidence. The third key is that stress deepens your faith and dependence on God, transforming your spiritual life. And the fourth key is that stress positions you to become a source of inspiration and hope to others. Stress is often uncomfortable and unwelcome, yet it serves as a powerful refining fire. Imagine gold being refined in a furnace. Impurities are burned away so the gold becomes pure and valuable. Your stress is like that fire. It burns away the distractions, fears, and weaknesses that hold you back. Through the pressure of stress, God is shaping your heart, molding your mind, and building your character. This process might feel painful in the moment, but it's necessary for your growth. Without it, you wouldn't develop the qualities needed for the next chapter of your life. The refining process is not about punishment, but about preparation. God wants you to be ready for the blessings and responsibilities ahead. He is shaping you to reflect His strength, patience, and wisdom. So when stress hits, don't see it as random suffering. See it as God's hands at work, crafting something beautiful through the challenges you face. The second key is that stress builds resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. It's what helps you keep going when everything around you seems to fall apart. Stress tests your limits and forces you to adapt, learn, and grow stronger. With each challenge you overcome, your capacity to endure grows. You become someone who doesn't just survive adversity, but thrives because of it. Resilience also means developing perseverance, the determination to keep moving forward despite obstacles. When you face stress, it's tempting to give up, but perseverance keeps you pushing ahead. This steadfastness is a crucial part of your journey. It's what carries you through storms and prepares you for victories that are just around the corner. The third key is that stress deepens your faith. When life is smooth and easy, it's natural to rely on yourself. But stress often strips away that illusion and reveals your need for something greater. It forces you to turn to God to seek His guidance, strength, and peace. This dependence on God transforms your spiritual life. In times of stress, prayer becomes more sincere and faith grows stronger. You learn to trust God's promises even when circumstances look bleak. This deepened faith is a treasure that lasts beyond any challenge. It becomes a source of peace that surpasses understanding, even in the hardest times. The fourth key is that your stress positions you to be a beacon of hope for others. When you endure hardship with faith and resilience, your story becomes a testimony. It shows others that struggle is not the end, but a part of the journey toward victory. Your experiences can inspire people who are going through similar challenges. They can find comfort and encouragement in knowing they are not alone and that there is a way through the stress. Your life becomes a powerful example of how God uses difficult seasons for good. It's important to remember that growth through stress takes time. The process may feel slow, and sometimes you might doubt if you're making progress. But every step, no matter how small, moves you closer to your breakthrough. Trust that God is working even when you can't see it. So when stress comes your way, instead of resisting or fearing it, embrace it with faith. Know that God is using this moment to prepare you, strengthen you, deepen your faith, and position you to impact others. You are not alone in your struggle. God is with you every step of the way. Keep pressing forward with courage and hope. Your stress is not wasted. It's working for your good and God's glory. The breakthrough you desire is coming, and when it does, you will look back and see how every trial was a building block in your journey to greatness. Stress is something every person encounters at different points in life, and it often feels like a heavy weight, a force trying to break you down. But beneath the surface of that pressure lies a powerful truth. God is using your stress to prepare you for something far greater. The first key to understanding this is that stress is part of God's refining process, designed to shape your character and prepare you for your purpose. The second key is that stress builds resilience and perseverance, helping you to develop strength through hardship. The third key is that stress deepens your faith and dependence on God, creating a spiritual foundation that nothing can shake. The fourth key is that stress equips you to become a source of hope and encouragement for others who are struggling. Finally, the fifth key is that stress reminds you of the temporary nature of hardship, pointing you toward a future filled with peace and victory. First key is understanding that stress is a refining fire. When God allows stress into your life, it's because He's working to mold you into the person He created you to be. Just as a blacksmith heats and hammers metal to make it strong and useful, God uses your stressful moments to remove impurities and strengthen your character. This process may be uncomfortable and even painful, but it is necessary for your growth. Stress strips away distractions and weaknesses, leaving behind a stronger, purer version of yourself. It's not punishment, it's preparation. God is setting you up to fulfill your purpose in a way that only someone who has endured hardship can. The second key is that stress builds resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back after difficulties and keep moving forward. When stress presses in, it tests your limits and forces you to grow beyond them. Each challenge you overcome adds to your strength and endurance. Over time, you develop a toughness that can face any storm without being defeated. This resilience is crucial because life will always have its ups and downs. Stress trains you to persevere, to hold on when everything inside you wants to give up. The more you endure, the more confident you become in your ability to handle whatever comes next. The third key is that stress deepens your faith and dependence on God. When things are going well, it's easy to rely on your own abilities. But stress reveals how limited you really are and points you toward a higher power. It pushes you to seek God's help, guidance, and comfort. In those moments of weakness, you discover God's strength and faithfulness in ways you never imagined. Your prayers become more heartfelt, your trust grows, and your relationship with God deepens. This spiritual growth is invaluable, giving you peace and hope that carry you through even the darkest times. The fourth key is that your stress positions you to be a source of encouragement for others. When you walk through hardship with faith and resilience, your story becomes a beacon of hope. You show others that stress and struggle are not the end, but part of the journey toward victory. People who are facing their own battles can look to your example and find courage to keep going. Your experiences equip you to empathize and support those in need, turning your pain into a ministry of healing and inspiration. This ripple effect of hope can change lives and bring light into places of darkness. The fifth key is that stress reminds you of the temporary nature of hardship. Stress is never meant to be permanent. It is a season, a chapter in your life that will pass. This understanding gives you perspective and hope. When you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself that this difficult time is preparing you for a future filled with peace, joy, and fulfillment. God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating everything for your good. The breakthrough you seek is on the horizon, and the struggles you face now are laying the foundation for that victory. So, when stress comes your way, don't despair. Instead, see it as God's way of refining you, building your resilience, deepening your faith, equipping you to encourage others, and reminding you that better days are ahead. Embrace your challenges with courage and hope. Trust that God is using every moment of stress to bring about something greater than you can imagine. You are stronger than your stress. You are being shaped for a purpose that will bless not only your life, but the lives of many others. Keep moving forward with faith, knowing that your breakthrough is coming. The story God is writing through your life is one of victory, growth, and unwavering hope. And your current stress is an essential part of that beautiful journey.